Hey there, welcome to Laura's Painted Minis. I am Laura and we're starting a little early today because I will be leaving soon. Well, not soon. I'll be leaving. I'm gonna cut the stream short this morning, this afternoon. You know. um, anyway, I will not be streaming quite as long today. I'm gonna cut it at 2 p.m. because I have a doctor's appointment. Um, so yeah. So I figured since I'm ready to go, I would go ahead and just hit the start button and start a little early. And I decided I wanted to kind of get some of this. There's kind of like a cloth, like torn cloth, like up here. So there's some there. Doo. Hard to tell what that is, so we'll just say that's cloth 2. And I just noticed that these are probably actually their hip bones right there, or at least could be. Anyway, gonna do the same color on. There's like basically some torn fabric down here as well. It's under the chainmail. Torn chainmail. Try to determine here what would be the torn fabric versus maybe some leather or something underneath it. Although it would make more sense for the fabric to be underneath the leather, I think, from as far as what I understand. So let's just say this is kind of various layers. I used the same color for the base coat to mix in. For a really dark shadow. So that's why, if you're wondering, why it is not very different from the base coat. Hold on just a moment. I think I hear my toddler. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. That's just probably going to be the reality of streams for now. So the color I used for the base coat was Rogue Shadow. It's like a, I don't know if you can get it anymore. I was in a fast palette of Reapers. I guess this should have been, so the color, so we'll just do it now. And then the color I've got mixed in and whatnot. And I'm using right now is Cailean wine. The nice thing about Skeleton Warriors is you're just doing a bunch of neutral colors for the most part. Well, I guess unless you do like a really yellowish bone color. That's also that. So you can kind of just, if there's a color you've been wanting to use or you don't use very often, because it doesn't, because you just haven't had the color scheme that it fits with. And kind of the fun part about Skeleton Warriors. It's been a while since I've done a color scheme where a magenta has a fit, I guess. Okay. I'll be right back again. All right. Hopefully there aren't too many more interruptions. How was everyone's weekend? I'm in the Midwest, so we got more snow, which is kind of a lot for, so we're like in central Iowa. So usually like right now it's still in the 40s Fahrenheit. Um and we've like we maybe get like a little dusting, but then it like melts and then it's just a bunch of dead grass for Christmas. But we've already got like over a foot of snow outside over the last couple of weeks. So maybe this year we'll actually have like a white Christmas. I grew up in like the northwestern Iowa, so like I'm definitely more used to this and having a decent amount of snow. But I have been living here in Ames for quite a while now. So it's been a while since I've gotten to have a nice white Christmas. I've already had like a one Christmas party now. It's my church's women's uh, Christmas. So there weren't. We had it Saturday, and that was right when it was like a few hours after it started snowing, I guess. It started snowing like early in the afternoon. So not many people were able to make it or comfortable going out, but that's okay. I was excited, and then I ended up. So we had like the last year and this year we had like called it the best Christmas cookie contest. So like green for uh decorated cookies. I mean, presumably that you did. I mean, I guess that wasn't specified, but it was kind of understood. I feel like that it was your work, you know. Can't say I know of a baking contest where it's okay to bring in others' work. But I feel like that kind of defeats the purpose. But yeah, I ended up winning first place. So it was exciting. I made gingerbread cookies, cookie sandwiches, made a cranberry compote filling, and then an orange flavored icing on top. And then I decorated them to be like, um, like those Christmas gnomes that are that have become kind of more and more popular, which I'm okay with. I think they're cute. I'm just touching up the shadows and the highlights on these guys. Well, on this guy. Now I've got kind of all the layers on them. I try to remember to keep an eye on the time so I don't end up being late for my doctor's appointment. So yeah, that's not bad. I have to remind myself that these are my paint to sell. So let's see. There's the kind of ripped sleeve over here. Shirt. I'm not entirely sure if up here if there is actually meant to be like part of the shirt visible. It was just kind of hard enough for me to tell that I just went ahead and made the decision that it will be part of the shirt. Since I was uh, decorating all the cookies, I didn't really get much time to do painting. Granted, that itself does a lot, has a lot of creativity involved. So I still had my creative uh, output. I just didn't have anything miniature painting wise to share with y'all over the weekend. Though I did get started yesterday. I got started on my husband's character mini. There we go. So there's that. He's playing in it's called Space Master. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it. It's definitely more sci-fi and obviously space. Like, there apparently is like a lot more involved with character creation, though. Because my husband was like pouring over the rules and stuff for quite a while. It seemed. So some of that was also just double checking his math and that he was rolling things and whatnot and understanding the rules correctly. But he made his mini on Hero Forge, and then a friend of ours has a 3D printer. So they printed it for us, well, for him, and then I'm painting it, obviously. That'll be kind of my first foray into like more of a sci-fi miniature, although it's really kind of not that difficult of a miniature for as far as like a sci-fi mini goes. Stop. I gotta get the camera to stop focusing on my skin. It was doing so good. There's just not enough contrast on this guy yet. We'll see how these streams go though as time goes on. If I'm being interrupted a lot, maybe I will need to consider a completely different time to stream if I'm having to constantly leave or whatever. But it's only the second one we've done, and also today is just different because yeah, it's already almost 2 and I have a doctor's appointment. So I'm gonna at least stick with this through the rest of the year. I don't want to be changing times a bunch on y'all who already follow and are trying to keep up with when I stream. Hey, Gilded Brush. Thanks for dropping in. I'm actually going to be ending here in a few minutes, so I've got a doctor's appointment. Yeah, normally I've been starting to stream till 3 p.m. Central, but yeah, today's different. I've just got like a regular checkup, and I'd already scheduled it before I made the change in my streaming schedule. Although previously I was streaming till 2:15 anyway, so I would have had to change anyway. This is not a Reaper miniature. I do use only Reaper paints. This is actually from Next Level Miniatures. I think it's one of, if you see any of their ads and stuff, I think it is one that they do often have on there in their ads. It's pretty cool. So that might be why it's familiar. I would assume if that's the case, then they probably still have these guys on their web shop. I've got, I think, still a few things from their very first Kickstarter, and some of those are not on there anymore. A little bit more shadow on the around under here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've got like 5 of these. So we got through 2. I decided, since at least with these particular skeleton warriors, it's just gonna be a lot of neutrals. But they do have the torn fabric on them, so decided to do like a fun color that I haven't been able to really do in a while, or at least in the last several paint jobs for me. But yeah, so that'll be it for today. Like I said, I've got a doctor's appointment, so gotta end early. But thanks for dropping in, and hopefully we'll see you Thursday. I stream Mondays and Thursdays, 1:30 p.m. Central till about 3. So hope to see you again. Thanks for joining. Bye.